Good evening, everybody. We got here another Age of Empires 2
So
1v1, this time between Hera in the blue and MbL in the red. They are playing on African clearing, and let's see how close these town centers end up going. Looks like they will be pretty close to one another, as we do see MbL dropping his town center a little bit later than Hera, and they are within distance of each other. Will be fighting over resources very shortly. A house being dropped by Hera already that we'll see as he walks by to his town center. He will see the town center of MbL. Interesting that they ended up being so close to one another, but that's the beauty of these nomad style starts. And there we have it. Hera has now seen MbL's location. He knows exactly where MbL is, and he's gonna just take some fish. Just to be, you know, that little bit. MbL just says, feel free, go for it. The two of them will be very close to one another. They will be fighting over these resources quite a bit. Obviously, both will be able to expand towards the back of their base at this point in time. Would love to see some beginning towers or feudal age aggression, because that's going to cause so much damage being this close to one another. But it might not be seen. With both of these players, you know, we could see some feudal age aggression. The players not well known, these civilizations not well known for towering or anything along those lines, but it still cause damage. MbL doesn't quite realize how close that Hera is to him, but I'm just going to fast forward as we go through the Dark Age. But he must know that he's slightly to the southwest just because he walked that way with the fish, and he's already starting a little bit of a wall off to protect his economy. The thing about this map, obviously, most of the wood sitting on the outside of the map. We do have scattered gold, food, stone piles all over the place, with some scattered trees as well. And lots of shorefish to collect in these little ponds. Hera already utilizing the mill and shorefish to collect extra fish out of this pond just to his southwest, and he is bringing in his first rhino. So quite a few villagers on food to begin with. He actually only has now built his lumber count. He will put 5 immediately on, but that gives him a little bit of an edge in getting his food count up. As you can see, he does have a little bit more food than MbL at this point in the game. Also, Hera is going for loom right now. That is another thing to note. And while Hera has not walled up at all, MbL is going full wall. Really wants a safe economy. He is also collecting his fish. He lost a villager to this rhino. That is massive. Already set back behind Hera. Villager counts are the same though, as Hera is clicked up to the next age. And Hera's going to look to do some early aggression, as he is clicked up with 18 population. Already going to gold and heavily on stone as well. Playing as the Magyars, typical cavalry civilization, but with these full walls up, not too much he'll be able to do if he does come forward with scouts. The one negative, of course, is MbL will be ahead in economy currently. He will be going up with 21 or 22 villagers, it looks like. He is still far away, actually, food-wise, so it is going to be quite a while until he is up to the next age. And Hera has just reached the feudal age. MbL still not clicked up. Hera's double building this barracks, and we will see what he decides to drop, and it is an archery range, just to get some of that range and cause as much damage as possible. He might even be able to pick off this villager if he's quick. And now MbL, on his way up to the next age, has a very solid economy. 5 more villagers, that of course being due to the fact that he did go that much later up, and he does not yet have loom, which with some early feudal age aggression could come back to bite him pretty hard. because some archers will be able to take these villagers out very quickly. Once fletching comes in, it's going to be very problematic for MbL to deal with. Hera, in the meantime, is just building up 4 on gold. He's got multiple on wood, and that will be enough for him to maintain archer production. As he does go forward with his first archer, we'll just delay this barracks for the time being. Won't be able to destroy it or take a villager kill, but also won't allow MbL to build, and so that is a barracks that won't be able to get built in the Dark Age. So when Feudal Age gets hit, there won't be any ability for MbL to be building a stable and or archery range, of course that being very important. But MbL going for a faster Castle Age instead. Good on Hera. Hera is really laming quite a bit right now. He did take out another Zebra of MbL, and that will cause more and more problems. And running around with these archers, I'd like for him to put this archer over here, deny this barracks. He must know at this point in time that if that barracks does not go up, MbL doesn't get a second military building. And there we go. He does send an archer forward, and this barracks now, with fletching coming in from Hera, is going to be more and more delayed as time goes on. MbL should be okay for the time being with him clicking up to Castle Age shortly. He now does have Loom on the way, and it looks like he will try to just get a little bit more from his food as much as possible, but he's still 45 short. And this is the issue, of course, with going for a fast castle. MbL with 0 military on the field. He does not have the economic lead anymore. He did lose that villager, remember, and he has been delayed. These 2 villagers will try to batter up this barracks as quickly as possible, but we'll see exactly how much more damage he takes. Not too much. Doesn't lose a villager, but lots of wasted time, and just lost the ability to get that up. And of course, MbL, knowing he's going against the Magyars right now, cavalry civilization, let's throw spearmen because he expects to see cavalry. But only archers right now for Hera. And Hera being as aggressive as possible. There is a little gap here. It will be walled in now. So Hera won't be able to break through even once he gets through this palisade. So he just goes to the other side. And a stable coming out with knights. That will change the game. Of course, knights being so strong against Feudal Age units. Able to clear out most of any Feudal Age army other than, of course, spears. But will these archers be able to mass up enough to fight against stable knights? Only one stable right now for MbL as he hits the next age. He does have enough wood and stone to build a second town center, but it looks like his primary goal is going to be military aggression. He has a monastery and a siege workshop going up immediately. And he loses a villager right off the bat into Castle Age. He is now behind by 10 villagers. And so though he will have the lead, how long can it last? Of course, a MbL able to turn the tables against a Feudal Age army, especially a Feudal Age army made up entirely of archers. Hera smartly walling up behind, building a stable of his own. Does he see it? Let's take a quick look. He does see the siege workshop is going up, so he knows to expect some sort of siege coming through pretty quickly. Scorpion or MbL could be coming forward, and Hera runs away with his villager, just saves her for now. And that one MbL will be enough to push back this army of 16 archers, and now the pressure is going on to the town center of Hera as he clicks up to the Castle Age, 40% of the way up. A Scorpion and a Mangonel out. Scorpion's able to do so much damage even if they don't get that direct hit. Mangonel's only able to do that huge damage when they make the hit. And it looks like Hera is going to continue on with Archer production. He is building, he is adding more villagers to gold. Quite a few villagers on gold right now. And it looks like he might continue with Archers for the time being. He does have a stable up, so I'd like to see a couple of knights. But in response, there are 2 monks already for the Malian player of MbL. And still, other than this little wall up the front, completely open in the back for Hera. He will need to build up a little bit of a defense. Should this siege get through, it could take out his army of archers, which will soon be crossbows. And these knights that are coming forward might just be converted. Let's see what happens with these archers. They are just distracting for now, trying to lure the Mangonels away from the town center, as Hera, very, very low on wood right now, unable to maintain repairs for too much longer. He should be okay now that he has a sufficient amount of villagers on wood. But this is the main issue for him. He does have crossbows now. Crossbows will be able to snipe the Scorpions, will be able to take out the monks. These Mangonels are still problematic for him. And 1 monk goes down, 2 monks go down, and the knights can run in freely, running away with it. Ooh, massive hit from MbL. Look at the damage there. MbL, fantastic hit, but he loses his army in the time. And Hera still with the military lead now. It is 10, 11 military right now for the 0 military for MbL. And only a 1 villager lead for Hera, as MbL has dropped his 2nd town center. No 3rd TC up yet, but he is in just this small sliver of land. I would like to see him branch out a little bit, and it looks like he's starting to plan to do that with this 2nd town center as well. And right now, the name of the game is Monk Siege for MbL, and if you're anyone, you want to be MbL doing Monk Siege. So fantastic. But the issue with Monk Siege, so slow when compared to a knight crossbow army. The knights, I mean, come on, they can run around circles. Look at this, how far away the nearest military is for MbL. And Hera now in the back of MbL's base. Will not be able to deny this town center, but might be able to cause some damage to the villagers that are building it. A full run to have 23 villagers build that town center. If this army was just a little bit faster, he might have been able to pick off a couple of them. The initial town center, though, for Hera has gone down. And we are seeing a 2nd town center going up as cavalry archers come forward. Of course, Magyars having very, very strong cavalry archers. The TC that is being rebuilt will be able to keep the economy going. But at this point in time, Hera needs to start looking at doing damage. He has the military advantage, but he can't push into this little tiny group until he has a few more military. In the meantime, he has locked down this portion of MbL's base. MbL not able to collect that gold, not able to collect that stone. He does have gold elsewhere. And another huge hit, doing big damage with that Mangonel. The monk will get a conversion of one of these knights. And will Hera be able to take out this Mangonel? No. The villagers do the repair. Oh, not quick enough to block. And just like that, 1 town center, 2 versus 2 town centers. And the difference between the two is Hera is spreading out with his 1 TC boom. MbL not yet able to put all of this military in the back of his base. And the siege will go down to these knights. 1 knight will get converted, and we'll see if that knight will not be able to pick off the Mangonel. Might have even gotten converted there. Close call for Hera. Cavalry archers being so great with their mobility, but so difficult with the fact that they are just smaller range, harder to mass than the archers. They do get 1 pick off of a knight, but take some damage from the Scorpion. And these crossbows still alive, still causing this town center to have huge delays. As you can see here, 5 idle villagers, and Hera actually with the villager lead as he's just now building his 2nd town center. And Scorpion able to clean up these crossbows, especially without any micro. This Scorpion will do its job. And the barracks will go down for Hera as he's on 2 TCs. He is on 2 stables. Just the 2 of them right now. And MbL trying to get as many conversions as he can. He gets 1 cavalry archer conversion. And I'm not sure if that engagement was worth it. Only 1 monk went down for MbL. MbL though on 3 town centers. He has now cleared out the back of his base. He's healing up a monk in one of his town centers. And monk coming forward for Hera. As well as a Mangonel. Mangonel, a couple of good trades against this army will be able to completely switch the way that this game is going. A knight now running around, getting some scouting information for MbL. Possibly could see a pick-off, but we will see. Looks like most of the economy of Hera is fairly safe, unable to pick off that Mangonel, and does lose a cavalry archer in the process. This knight not doing too much damage as of yet. There is a monk down here doing some scouting, looking to collect up relics. Let's see how this Mangonel warfare goes. Able to get 1 shot, takes out the Scorpion. So far, so good for Hera, but of course, as Mangonels go, it can flip around at any time. 2 Scorpions down now. Well worth it. 1 Mangonel for 2 Scorpions and 1 Mangonel of the enemy. Take that trade 100% of the time, as we still see 3 TCs for MbL, and just the 2 right next to each other for Hera. Hera does still have a villager lead, so these extra town centers are not quite doing the damage that MbL needs them to do at this point in time. And as Hera goes forward for this town center, the knight runs the other way. Knight actually might get a pick off or something like that, but unable to deny this town center. 1 villager goes down for Hera, and we see a massive cavalry archers now coming forward. University coming through that will be getting upgrades, and Hera has not noticed this knight in the back of his base. He has got quite a few pickoffs actually, and now the TC gets garrisoned. Knights run away, and these cavalry archers in mass will be able to do quite a bit of damage, protecting that monk that is collecting the relics. Hera with his 2nd relic coming back right now. The issue, of course, with cavalry archers, they still do clump up. Just the same as archers, they do have higher HP, but will be taking quite big damage from the siege units that are going to be attacking them. And now for Hera, ballistics on the way. Will be looking to build up as much of an advantage with his army count as possible. He does now have 4 less villagers. He is falling slightly behind, but he has had much less idle time for his villagers than MbL has throughout the game. And of course, with ballistics coming through, that will be able to cause a lot more damage from these cavalry archers. Unable to micro as easily against the cavalry archers once the ballistics comes through, and that mangonel goes down, picks off. Good mangonel shot, but against this many cavalry archers, able to run right underneath, and the knight goes into the back, will go straight for the scorpion, and takes it out. See how much more damage this one knight can do. Looks like nothing. Just killed instead of converted. And Bloodlines now coming in for MbL, playing as the Malians. He will be going for, looks like, light cavalry to combat against this. I don't know if he has the farms as of yet to be supporting this. 32 on food right now. And those monks, only one goes down, but they got awfully close to losing more. We do see light cavalry getting massed up by MbL, and he will be looking to do some sort of raiding with the light cavalry just running around, staying away from this main army of Hera that he knows he cannot compete against. And MbL has not branched out as of yet. He's running fairly low on gold on both of his piles, but with the current way that he is building up just light cav, he doesn't need the gold all that badly. The first batch of light cav do start to flood into the base, and immediately Hera having to respond with his cavalry archers garrisoning his town center. There is a single villager that's lost so far, but look at all of this idle time. That's 2 villagers down, and it's going to take a little bit more than that to cause more damage. In the meantime though, this other side has been hit by the light cavalry, by the mangonels. That is now 3 mangonels. That's a scary engagement for Hera to look to take, and he decides to go for a castle on the middle of his base. That will protect some of his farmland, and it'll also protect his flank. At the same time, MbL coming forward with a castle of his own. He did pick off quite a few cavalry archers there, and the castle of MbL will go up, but it will shortly get attacked down as we see the first player that is up to the Imperial Age is Hera, who is 70% of the way up now, and will be able to build trebuchets that, under the protection of his own castle and cavalry archers, will just treb down the castle of MbL. Good job with the light cav raiding, unable to do too much damage, still fairly even, actually exactly even on villager counts, and really we've been seeing a lot of idle time from MbL throughout this game. But this is tough to engage against 6 mangonels. 6 mangonels, of course, having 7 range versus the 8+2 of the castle. So if Trebuchet sitting here is rangeable, Trebuchet sitting here means you're losing mangonels. The Trebuchet will be able to sit back enough to be covered, and that mangonel only taking out 1 of MbL's could have been a lot worse. Definitely could have been a lot worse with the way that these mangonels can clump up. MbL building another town center, wants access to gold, needs access to gold, but his villagers deciding to collect just the wood for now. Now they've been moved over to the proper situation. And these cavalry archers from Hera wanting to run in, but still scared of these mangonels. They might be able to see their chance now, take it, and go. They are going to just retreat back though, stay a little bit safe, as we see MbL is 77% of the way up, and Hera already trebbing down with that protected trebuchet. We see recurve bow coming in. That will make these cavalry archers just that much stronger. Chemistry and armor coming in as well. Parthian tactics already on the way. these will be very formidable and difficult to engage against. But of course, there's one thing that can take out cavalry archers, it's going to be siege. And Gebetto's coming through too. Gebetto's such a high attack that they are able to even melt the buildings. First thing MbL does in the Imperial Age, upgrades to Onager. His castle will likely go down to the 1 trebuchet of Hera. And he is still starting to spread out slowly, but trying his best to get up and out of his little corner of the base. And Hera now suddenly having less space. But if this castle goes down, that will turn the tides of battle quite a bit. As we see now, the castle will go down. Not enough stone, no one repairing it right now. And there it goes. Cavalry archers will be running forward shortly, but they are now going to come into an engagement against onagers. Stables being built by MbL way out on the side, but castles being built in preparation by Hera to defend himself, defend his little corner of the map against any aggression that could be coming forward. And here we have it. Already onagers being taken out by just these fast firing, strong Magyar cavalry archers. But the longer that these choke points hold, the better that is for the onagers. Onagers so powerful, able to take so many of these cavalry archers out if they can get the good shots in. But they are just getting microed down like crazy. Fantastic micro we're seeing from Hera. Just a masterclass. Look at that. Microing underneath the town center. What was that? 5, 6 onagers. Beautiful to see. And let's see what exactly MbL has up his sleeve to respond. He is going now into a pikeman line, which I'm not sure how successful that will be against the cavalry archers. Of course, having a bonus against them if they can reach them. Cavalry archers being able to run away, run away, run away. The one benefit of what he is doing, though, is he will now be able to engage a little bit better against any of the Magyar hussars that we could be seeing coming out for Hera, which looks like he is going to be doing a little bit of a switch into possibly. Of course, with that upgrade, he does get to build them without any gold cost, so that is a little bit easier to afford than the light cavalry that MbL was building prior to this. And of course, these Magyar hussars will fall down pretty easily to a mass pikeman army, especially Malian pikemans. Very strong infantry. MbL is losing the front ground. Difficult army to engage against. Army of 38 cavalry and cavalry archer units. And against that, the Malians are sitting back on their pikemen, creating as many light cavalry as they possibly can at this point in time. As you can see, that pikeman is falling so quickly. Just one shot, run, one shot, run, one shot, run. The longer this goes on, the better it is if Hera can keep it up. But look at that wonderful cheeky little micro by MbL, choosing to garrison in and out of the castle, cut off the cavalry archers, but the cavalry archers, still a couple of them make it away and did take out an onager at the same time. Taking a look at the villagers, Hera does have quite a few more villagers still than MbL, and overall a much larger population, obviously with the military lead as well. Now running in with Magyar hussars. Magyar hussars versus light cav. Not much of a chance for the light cavalry to engage against that. But now these light cav are Farimba light cav. They will have that extra attack, able to do a little bit more damage, and the pikemen, once they can corner in these Magyar hussars, take away the mobility, they will be able to take them out quite easily. But Magyar hussars, of course, still very strong. It's just pikemen being that much cheaper. Although I guess, again, if you're playing Magyar hussars with only food cost, it makes it a pretty cheap unit to make. And now we see mass pikemen coming forward for MbL. And still, this main army of cavalry archers from Hera will be causing as much damage as possible. I'd like to see a trebuchet out for the Malian player of MbL. Trebuchet obviously being able to push back the trebuchet that's been pushing in on him this entire game, taking out just some houses, blacksmith, all that stuff at the front. Siege workshops and stables are going to be coming out next, and so that will be causing damage further along the line. And Hera now starting his raids with the Magyar hussars and having to garrison your town centers from your farms. Never a good situation when you're trying to mass up light cavalry. And still, these Magyar hussars able to fight underneath the town centers, able to pick off so many villagers. There is now a 25 villager lead for Hera, as one just barely makes it out. The Magyar hussars just flooding in now, doing so much damage. Want to avoid engaging against these pikemen as much as possible if you're Hera, and just do exactly what he's doing with these three over here. Running around, attacking, staying away from the pikemen, and hitting villagers, running, hitting villagers, running, hitting villagers, running. This cavalry archer army, I'd like to see a trebuchet here, take down this castle. And there it is, moving forward now to take down the castle of MbL. That did quite a bit of damage, that little attack from Hera. This attack here as well. Hera now with a 30 villager lead, and he is dropping another castle just a little bit further forward. That will protect his trebuchet that is trebbing down the castle of MbL. MbL, of course, not using his castle for anything other than those upgrades and some protection. Not making the units as Hera is. MbL just choosing to sit back, take whatever he can. The military counts are fairly even, with MbL with a slight lead right now, but of course his army being primarily pikemen, which will fall to the cavalry archers, but will be able to do quite a bit of damage if they can get in close. A few good shots from the onagers, really reducing a lot of the HP from these Magyar hussars, and trying to engage from behind the castle, but unable to do too much damage. Both of these players right now at, well, Hera already pop capped, and of course when we take a look, MbL getting close there too. This engagement will decide quite a bit. Running away, wasting the time of the pikemen as they get shot by the cavalry archers, but the pikemen will not be enough to get in close. Totally cleaned up, and suddenly, just like that, 50 military gone for MbL. Ooh! That onager shot, beautiful to see. These onagers doing so much damage, and with the camels in the back, I do like the addition of camels. Obviously having that mobility, having that anti-cavalry movement will be huge against any sort of Magyar attack. And able to keep most of the onagers alive, as we do see this is the main engagement right now. This castle able to fire down on the units the entire time pretty much. But right now we're at a point where MbL is down to 124 pop. Hera still hovering above 170, and just like that, GG's called, and that will do it.